Oh, no, we're not all going to die. There are going to be about 250 million climate refugees because the entire world's sea level is going to rise about 2 feet at once, and every shore will be gone. And unfortunately, shores are where most people congregate. That's where most people live. That's where the business is. So they're, estimated
Shores are fun to get wasted at over a summer.
Around 250 million climate refugees will come within days of the Thwaites Glacier, which is about the size of New York State cubed, will fall into the ocean.
Wow.
It might not happen right away.
Huh.
But it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Like, without a doubt, it's going to happen.
Yeah. When are we starting the show?
That's a really good start, actually. I think that because the Earth is getting hotter.
Yeah.
And the show's hot. That's hot. Welcome to That's Hot, you guys.
Yes.
Welcome to finding out you're dead.
Wow.
You're dead, actually.
Great
That was the
segue.
last thing you heard ever. It was Dave telling you how you're going to die, and then you died.
No, you're not going to die.
No, you're just going to be a refugee, and you're going to get, put up in the Roosevelt.
Yeah, no, you're not going to die. You're just going to have a significantly reduced quality of life. And
You're going to want to die.
You're going to have at least 5 people who used to live on a beach in your living room. Every person alive is going to house a few people who used to live near a beach.
That's beautiful. I think we're going to do that with Gaza, too.
Yeah, that is actually a good solution. Everyone has to take one.
Interesting stuff, right? Take one, give one.
People will be so much more activated to solve this problem when they have a refugee living in their living room.
Get a Gazan.
Yeah.
Get a Gazan.
Everybody probably shouldn't put it that way.
Gag.
But yeah.
Well, with this gag, I'm your host, Sabrina Piper, aka Funny Girl with Tits, and I'm joined by the very funny Dave Sirus today. Who
Thank you.
Wasn't as funny telling us about we're dying. Sorry, we're refugees.
It was getting there.
Future refugees.
It was on a road to something. I was going to find a punchline in there somewhere, but we changed the subject. But you did by making it about the TV show, and that makes it all worth it. I mean the podcast.
Yes. No, this could we could launch this. Who knows?
We're going to only talk about hotness.
Yes, this could be a TV show at the end because this could be something that they make once they start with the Netflix documentary about like the world melting and the last day on Earth. They're like, oh, they predicted this, and here we are. And that's the heater. We got to ignore that.
I do like predicting random bullshit on podcasts because you never know which one is going to then be an I told you so later.
Oh, we always do that. We did that with the Dan Schneider stuff.
I was able to say I did that with January 6th.
Oh, yeah?
I was on a podcast, Robbie Goodwin's podcast, and we were talking about Trump, and I was like, and I just said, he said, how do you think it's going to end? And I literally said, I was close. I said, the day he has to leave office, he's going to go on TV and say, the election was rigged. I want everyone to get a gun and come down to the White House and stop them from removing your president.
That's pretty close.
I didn't even remember.
So you created January 6th. Great.
I would like to believe that I have that power.
You led them that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, I did know a few people there, so.
Just working your way. Now, one of my really good friends, we want to have him on the pod. He worked for Warren. He worked for Elizabeth Warren, who was like her advisor. And he was telling me people on January 6th, they don't talk about it, but like advisors and like young kids and everything, they were just getting stabbed around D.C. by these nuts. If they were like in suits and people never talk about it. There was definitely some violence. I mean, that one smidge. That cop who I didn't know him, but he grew up in my town. Like I have friends who know him. Brian Sicknick is the one who died. The cop. Oh, the cop. Yes.
Yeah, he grew up in Spotswood. I grew up in East Brunswick. They border each other, and we're the same age.
Whoa.
So my friend Thad used to play basketball with him. We knew his mom. His mom was a teacher. And yeah, he was one of the guys who died, and there was another cop who had his eye cut out. It was an ugly day.
Yeah, not fun, not good. Well, that's a small world, though.
Yeah. I was very excited to find out I had that connection.
Oh, right. Look at that. Thanks
I was
a
like,
lot.
for all you know, I might have run into him, and I could say.
It's crazy. It's so scary because now they do like the commemoration. They're like, oh, it was just January 6th. We have to remember that day. And I'm like, do we?
Well, I mean, if we're going to remember every horrible thing that ever happened, we're not going to have time to live our lives. We can't make a holiday out of everything.
Now they do.
That's true.
Happy National Sex Trafficking Month.
Is that what we are?
Yeah.
So January?
January.
January is for sex trafficking awareness. Okay.
Yeah.
I want people to be aware.
I want people to be aware too. I got air tagged. I want people aware.
I know.
I want people aware.
It was quite a story.
I know.
It was shocking.
I know.
It was like really scary.
It was really scary.
I heard that whole thing and I was like, that is like, it's good that like as a comic you can like make, stories out of it and stuff, but that was really fucking
I was like fucking
sad.
jilted.
Yeah.
I think I'm still a little bit like, I just want to like conquer Paris again. I want to go back and be like, I can do this.
It just
like,
validates everything I thought about France.
Have you not been there?
No. Oh, no. Actually, no, I have. I was in Paris for like a day.
Oh, okay.
We went to an
You weren't
American-themed restaurant.
No, you did not. Did you really?
We randomly walked into a restaurant, like just looking for a place, and it had like Western, like American Western, like guns on the wall, and we're like, is this what American themed?
Some places in France are like that. I will say in the south of France, in Nice, there's a bunch of places like that. It's really weird.
Yeah, the menu was all
can't knock
French.
you.
The menu was like all French food, but it was like it apparently themed like it was American.
Like it was American. Yeah, they love that. A lot of like motorcycles and stuff, motorcycle things. They love
Yeah,
that.
there are a lot of cowboy hats.
Cowboy
which
hats,
must
that makes sense.
be a direct reference to us, right? No one else
It
has
has
those.
to be. It has to be.
North America's own people with cowboy hats, right?
Yeah. Also, I love that like our French restaurants will never do anything like that. Like,
Do we
would
have
never-
French restaurants?
We have a few sprinkled throughout the city that Keith McNally created.
Okay. I feel like
He's
I've
a
never-
restaurateur like defended Ghislaine.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
Interesting.
fun. He's cool.
The funny thing about Ghislaine Maxwell is there's a lot about her that's funny. I have a very unpopular opinion about that whole world.
Would love to know.
And I just love how it angers people because I think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself.
What?
I think that the
I can't even
Jeffrey
look at you
Epstein
right
didn't
now.
kill himself is the most live, laugh, love of any conspiracy theory. I think it is the most basic soccer mom conspiracy theory ever. And the reason part of the reason I believe that is when Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested.
Okay.
Everyone was tweeting, "Oh yeah, she's gonna be dead any second." And I posted, I was like, "I will bet anyone $500 right now she'll be alive in a year."
Yeah, well, it would be too obvious.
Yeah, you see how the circular logic begins? How like everyone starts saying it, and I'm like, you're just saying that. If you had to put money on it, you never would. And she's still alive.
She's still alive because she's ratting.
Yeah.
She's doing Daily Mail interviews. She's not answering us.
I'm not saying Jeffrey Epstein definitely killed himself, but the idea that people like, there's no way that the world's most famous pedophile would take his own life right before getting life in prison.
Okay. I'll volley you this. Okay, live, laugh, love. Mm-hmm. What about the French guy?
I don't
Max,
know
the name?
who that is. The French.
It's gonna come to me.
There's a French guy.
There's the French guy who got the 3 8-year-olds for his birthday from Epstein,
Okay.
and he was also killed in. He also committed suicide in prison, or as you said, committed suicide.
Jean-Luc Brunel.
Yes. Jean-Luc Brunel.
Well,
I just looked up Epstein French friend.
Yes, Jean-Luc, they said, killed himself.
it's also not hard to imagine a pedophile gets murdered in prison when it's not part of an international conspiracy too. You could just get killed. You're pedophiles. I just think that a lot of people. Oh, look, here's the thing. I used to be a conspiracy theorist. When I was 21,
You look like a conspiracy theorist.
I wrote a novel making fun of them because like throughout college, like high school, college, I started reading all these conspiracy books. And by the time I was like 21, 22, I came out of them being like, oh, this is all bullshit. This is literally just a business of lying to people for attention. And I started
church?
I wrote a sort of book that I didn't realize at the time was too close to the Illuminatus trilogy, that it was just a comedy about making fun of these conspiracy theories. And like, so I really just got to the point where I was like, people are just so eager to believe the most interesting version of reality. And with Epstein, that's what it felt like to me. It felt like this mad dash to believe the thing that makes you less bored. And I think it's a very dangerous thing that people always believe the most exciting version of reality. That's what happened with Facebook in like 2016, where everyone was like, all these fake stories are growing because the fake stories always tapped into this desire to live in a more magical world, to live in a world of more intrigue and interest. People would just believe something unlikely if it makes them less bored. And the idea that Epstein had to be killed by an international conspiracy is just extremely alluring it's so much more interesting than a pedophile choked himself to death.
Fuck, Dave, you're convincing me, dude. Fuck, man. I'm like, no, he can't keep going. I believe this now. Now I'm like, maybe he did do it. I'm easily swayed. What can I say?
But like I said, it also could have been just killed for being a pedophile in prison.
Killed for being a pedophile in prison. I think, I don't know. I think I don't know what I know. I think that nobody knows anything.
I agree.
Right?
I will. That is a very, very intelligent point.
never know.
Because I'm not saying he did kill himself. I'm saying that like I find that it's like when you're making a bet on like I bet on fights sometimes.
Okay.
I always like to bet on the underdog that I think shouldn't be an underdog. I never want to bet on the guy people think is going to win. I'm always just trying to bet on who's someone that has a better chance than they're giving him.
Yeah. Also, especially if they're boxing, whoever looks like the dumber guy, I go for.
That's a very good.
Whoever's a little dumber, they've been hit more. They can take a more hit.
That's true. You can
Take
also,
a more hit.
Whoever's got more of a cauliflower ear is a good way to judge.
Oh yeah. Whoever's girlfriend is like beat up, I'm like, he's winning.
Whoever's girlfriend is a black guy is
yeah,
winning that
I'm
fight.
like, that guy got it.
But yeah, no, I think, and I feel like with Epstein, it's like everybody was so certain it had to be a conspiracy
That's true.
that I wanted to bet on the other side because I'm like, it could very easily be nothing interesting.
No, it's true. People really do like interest and whatever. Like when Succession ended, did you watch?
Oh yeah, I love
Okay,
Succession,
so like
yeah.
the end, like some people were like trying to make their own fan theories. They're like, Kendall jumped in the water, blah, blah, blah. That's the splash you heard. I'm like, no, the show ended.
Nah, Kendall didn't jump in the water.
It's like, it's done.
And
If
he did jump in the water, his bodyguard would have pulled him out. Now, of course, Jeremy Strong,
Yeah.
the actor, attempted to jump in
Oh,
the water.
yes, I know that. Yes.
As an improv.
Yes.
Just to fulfill that. But it was really more,
Yes.
they wanted you to wonder if he's going
Right,
to do
exactly.
that. That's what it
But
really
I think
was.
it's the same thing that you were saying where it's like people want, I don't know. I guess finality with a little bit of zhuzh.
I mean, one of the things I did on my YouTube channel when I used to do that a lot was I did anti-conspiracy videos. I found the guy who had invented the Boston bombing conspiracy, that the bombing was all orchestrated and there was no bomb, and that all the people who like lost their legs were actually already paraplegics with fake legs that they then pretended to get blown off. And I found the
Jesus
guy
fucking Christ.
because I wanted to get him in a one-on-one conversation and make fun of him.
Okay.
And make him look like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I love that.
But yeah, that's
so cool.
That
How did that? I mean, that's not cool. That guy's a fucking asshole. He is the worst. However, it's like, how'd you do it?
Well,
How'd you get him?
I mean, basically, I had this anger at conspiracies, and I had this real anger that like conspiracy people are always just they're bullshitting, they're taking advantage of vulnerable people because they don't realize that they're always looking for the most theatrical version of reality. And so I just started looking through all these YouTube videos of these people saying that like, I mean, it's so crazy that it's obviously a big part of it is just people with untreated schizophrenia, people with mental issues.
Bipolar.
Yeah. People,
Oh my God, yeah.
Who are just susceptible. And it's not their fault. But these grifters are taking advantage of them. Some of them are crazy and some are just grifters.
And some of them are both. I'm going to be real.
100%.
A lot of them go hand in
Alex
hand.
Jones is no question both.
Right.
So I basically started watching all these videos and I would contact the makers of these videos. Where did you get this from? Where were you? Where did you find this information? And as I did it, it all led to this one guy who was, and I'm not kidding, Dale Gribble. He was Dale Gribble from King of the Hill. He looked, sounded, acted exactly like him. And I felt bad because this is what I've done. Same with the Westboro Baptist Church, where I interviewed many times.
Yeah. We're going to talk
They're
about
often like really nice in real life.
that. Does it fuck you up a little bit? Like, just don't do it, don't do it, don't do it? Or what?
I wouldn't use that term. I feel like there's a part of you have to push through and ignore the societal norms that they've decided to ignore. Because in the moment you're like, you're being so polite and I'm about to really upset you.
Right.
But the guy was like nice, even when I was like kind of making fun of him. He was like actually going along and like having a sense of humor about it, which made me feel even worse.
A nut.
And it wasn't until the very end of the video that it's in the video, this is not staged. I had never used Skype before. And I thought when you close the window, it ends the call.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
He could still see me. I just closed the window, let me see him. And he heard me cackling to my friends in the other room that this fucking idiot didn't understand how much I was making fun of him the whole time. And then I had to have a very awkward like, you was making fun of me, huh? And I'm like, Sorry, man. That's just, it's YouTube.
That's horrifying.
Bye. And I did feel bad, but at the same time, he was convincing people that he was teaching people that the Boston bombing was orchestrated by Steven Spielberg himself. and that veterans who had lost their legs in Afghanistan were walking around on prosthetic legs knowing that a fake explosion was about to go off so they could rip the legs off and tell people that they were in a horrible explosion so that we could wrongly get gun regulation. And I was like, no, you deserve this.
Yeah, you had to get that guy.
My favorite part of it was when part of the bit was I was going to start listing things. Like, I want to tell you, I'm going to list a few things, and you tell me of these which are conspiracies and which are just normal things that happen. Mm-hmm. And so I made a list of things that conspiracy theorists I knew would say are conspiracies.
Yeah, you got some 9/11 in there?
And then mixed in things that are obviously not conspiracies, that no one would ever think are conspiracies. Like, is the common flu a conspiracy?
Nice.
Now
it is.
Is the Big Bang Theory a conspiracy? And I would like mix in like things that obviously weren't, like the peel of an orange. The fact you have to peel an orange. And I couldn't believe it. Even the joke ones, he thought were conspiracies. He thought the flu was made up.
That's my point.
And the thing with all these people, my whole argument was always, these are people who present themselves to an audience and they present their best self. They prepare a speech and then people can hear it and it sounds reasonable. But what you have to do is you have to ask those people real-time questions and make them explain themselves and find out what else they believe in real time in a non-curated performance, like a non-curated video. And once you get these people in a conversation, it's so immediately clear how fucking crazy they are.
And stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, for sure. That must have been fun. I know that you also brought up the Westboro Church.
Yeah, that was my big thing years ago.
Yeah. So how long has it been? Like 8 years? 7 years?
The last one I did was 2015.
2015, yeah.
And I love doing them, and I feel bad that I stopped, but it was like, because I did initially intend on transitioning that whole thing to just Trump voters, to just following Trump around at his rallies.
I mean, you can now. That's why it's like, I know before we started the pod, we were talking about this for a second. I think you need to get into it again, especially now that DeSantis is out.
I agree.
This is crazy. I mean, it's really gonna it's gonna be him for the nomination, I think, unfortunately.
I think you're probably right. I think Nikki Haley does have a chance. She is a very strong candidate, especially now that she has a one-on-one through primaries, which Trump never had in any of the 2016 primaries. He never had to deal with that.
Yeah.
It's possible. She's going to win a few places.
Yeah.
She's probably not going to get the nomination. It's probably too late for that.
I don't think she will, only because I think the MAGA people are so...
Yeah. But yes, following around MAGA crowds, you could just endlessly do that. Which the thing is, of course, part of the reason I never did that was the fact that I was writing for Triumph the Insult Comic Dog.
Right.
Who's doing almost the exact same thing.
Right.
Maybe a little more jokey, and it's from a dog puppet. But the joke writing is basically the same process for me.
Yeah.
And so after I got out of SNL, I immediately got a job with Triumph. We did a Hulu show, which was multiple episodes, and it was mostly politics. We were going to those rallies. We were going to like Trump versus Hillary debates and just like talking to people, making fun of them. And I intended on like bringing them back for whenever the election cycles happen, but every election cycle there'd be a new job with Triumph. And with Robert Smigel, who voices Triumph and is like the creator of Triumph, like it's hard to do two versions of that writing because, he's a very respected writer. He wants everything you got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was partially laziness that I was just like, I can't do this on top of like my responsibilities.
Right, of course.
Because, with this job, you can't say no to things. And there have been times in my career where like I had to juggle multiple like thinking jobs at the same time where it gets scary. Like at one point I was writing, I was guest writing update features for SNL and the Rob Lowe roast and the Triumph show. And, oh God, and I was at the end putting together a script proposal for Judd, which was a movie that did not get made. And it was years later we ended up doing King of Staten Island. But at the time we were working on a different movie that was Judd's idea. So like it was like a moment where I'm like, I have to write 4 things at once.
Whoa.
I'm losing my mind.
How much pressure?
It's,
Scale of 1 to 10.
I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I'm sure there are a lot of more high pressure jobs.
Yeah, but how did you feel?
6.
6?
Which is as
You're
much
such
as
a bullshitter. It feels like it was a 10.
it was a lot, but it's
You're like describing it and you're like, it was a 6. Don't be a fucking man about it.
I'm not a fucking fireman. I'm not going to pretend that I have a job that is on that level of stress.
We're not
I don't even have
firemen running into burning buildings.
Yeah, I don't have kids. I don't have kids to raise. I don't have like a lot of responsibilities that people might have in these situations. So I'm not going to go here and act like what I'm doing is on that level.
You're being
but it
so
sucked.
kind. You're being thoughtful. You're being kind. You're like thinking beyond it. You're like, people could have it much worse. I could have children to worry about.
Yeah, I could. Yeah,
I
exactly.
love that you're like, no, I wasn't stressed for myself. It's okay. Yeah. It was a good 6. I just cried about it for 2 months after.
It was just hard.
That's a lot. No, it's
hard.
so fucking much. It's a lot of pressure.
Because it's all thinking work.
It's a lot of thinking
It's just
work.
sitting down and thinking.
And you
So
don't want to be repetitive, I'm sure.
right.
Like, that would be a huge thing.
Even though I have 100% sold the same joke to Judd and Robert Smigel in the past. Because if they're not going to be,
Don't let them hear it. They're avid listeners of the pod, so
well, they're friends. So like, I just hope they don't ever bring anything up.
it's fair.
But no, because I've written for like, Judd at the DGA Awards and
Oh, that's so
Triumph
cool. I didn't know
at
that.
like a performance. And if they're both not televised, you are all seeing the exact same jokes, guys.
Oh, ha-cha-cha. Okay, Lizzie McGuire
Now, on
is
the
an
plus
outfit
size-
repeater, and Dave Sirus is a joke reteller.
On the plus side, though, they reject most of the jokes I offer. So the odds of them both doing the same one are probably low.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, so you won't see the same things.
But
My
they're like
Lizzie
two of my-
McGuire joke went over both of you.
Oh,
So
no.
old.
Lizzie McGuire isn't the Haley Duff. Hillary
Duff.
Hillary Duff. Yes.
So close.
Yes.
Nobody ever knows Haley Duff.
I actually knew Haley Duff.
What?
She used to fuck my roommate.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
No way. Okay, cool. Small world.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how would you know? Oh, okay. She banged someone. That makes sense.
I lived in West Hollywood. It happens.
Oh, speaking of that, let me ask you something. So you go on the road with Pete all the time and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
How much pussy do you get from it? You get so much. You get slammed with pussy because of Pete.
I'm so glad you asked this.
You know I had to
because
ask this. You're on that hot.
Because so many people have this idea that opening for Pete means you have access to this runoff pussy that does not
Runoff
exist.
pussy.
That's how people described it to me.
Stop it.
And I'm like, that does not exist. I'll be very clear. The women who want to fuck Pete are not settling for his friends. And I want to be clear about this. I'm proud of them for it.
I didn't mean
That is
to
respectable.
Run off whores.
That is respectable. Women who want to fuck Pete only want to fuck Pete, and if they can't, they can go home. They are not just fucking whoever's there.
That's true.
I can be very honest that, like, look, I'm not going to say I've
I'm
never.
not saying taking his women, you sicko.
Well, you're saying opening for Pete, like, yeah, the people like, oh, must have women coming to see him at his shows, and I bet there's women all around, and it's like,
You
yeah,
can
they want to fuck him.
You can honestly say you've never gotten pussy because of that.
Well, never is a different answer. I will say this: in the year, and I mean years of opening for Pete, only once ever did a girl just hit on me after a show.
Seriously?
I thought, look on a typical show.
That's great. I mean it. You're funny. You're
That's
not a
true.
bad looking dude. Like that's so it's shocking to me. I'm like, one time a girl did
There's
that?
only been one time where a girl literally was just like after a show, like, "Hey, that was great. Do you want to like hang out?" And I'm like, "With me?"
one chuckle
I'm
fucker.
like, Pete won't be there. You understand that? They're like, "No, that's okay." But like, oh no, I'll be clear. I do get like DMs after
Okay.
shows occasionally.
That makes
and,
sense, yeah.
you get girls saying hi, but like to be perfectly honest, like when I get one of those, the first thing I have to think is this is more than likely someone who is trying to get through me.
Yeah.
So it's like even right there, it's like it's weird to respond. It's weird to do it. And like there's also probably, to be fair, I'm sure there are women who I've met that I didn't know were fucking me for that reason. That I thought I was just killing it.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
I would say more than likely because we know some fucking whores, and whores do that.
Yeah.
They're nice women. They're some of my best friends, but I know whores.
No, there are definitely women who
They do
I
that.
thought just liked me
Yeah.
and thought I was funny, and then later I find out that they were more of a fan of his than I knew, kind of thing. But like in terms of just like on the road,
Yeah.
staying at a hotel, you could do whatever you want that night. Once ever, San Francisco in like 2012.
Okay, I guess I did mean in general, even the DMs and stuff. Your phone's been blowing up this whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, you are popular. Either that or I'm a fucking loser.
Yeah, no, I'll show you who was texting me.
okay,
It's
okay.
no one
Oh, okay.
hot. But yeah, no, I have a weird thing where like, because Pete doesn't have Instagram and he sometimes posts from my page.
Oh, right.
So a lot of people see me as that
Yeah,
conduit, and it's a
yeah.
lot. Some are very nice.
Yeah, sure.
Some are like totally cool, and some are people who shouldn't be talking to me about these issues.
Like, give me one example.
See, I don't want to be mean,
No.
but like,
be mean.
I'll put it this way. Sometimes it'll be a thing where like somebody contacts me. They're like, hey, I love Pete. I've also, through him, found out about like what stuff you wrote and what you've done. I saw your stuff and I think you're really cool. I love you guys. And anytime I get a thing like that, I'll say like, oh, thank you. That's really
very
cool.
nice.
If they have a question, I'll answer it. If it's something as, once in a while, if it's like, my kid is a big fan, can you make a video for his birthday? I'll try to do stuff like that or something.
That's cute.
I'll try to get Pete to be like, Pete, just please say happy birthday to,
That's sweet.
But then,
And
if you are listening to this and you think I'm talking about you, I promise it's someone else.
He is talking about you.
Sometimes those people then think that means we're going to talk like every day from now on, even as like a check-in, like, hey, how's it going? What's going on in your life? And I'm like, no, we're not going to be having a perpetual conversation.
Oh, man.
I don't have the bandwidth for that.
That's
and I had to
so
explain
rough.
to them, like, a lot of people want to know about Pete. And it's like, I can't do that. I don't have the time,
In a way, it's like you've become a PR person a little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that way.
I'm associated with him. And there have been both good and bad has come of it. More good than bad, but, But the bad ones tend to be a little bit more noticeable than the good.
You like to yourself or outward? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I would say that the vast majority of interactions I've had because of my connections to Pete have been very positive, and the people I've interacted with were great. On the other hand, the only time people really, 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 really famous have an interaction with me over that, it's a bad one.
Okay.
Like when...
You're not going to give us... Oh, you will give a story.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with when Kanye posted my address.
He posted your address?
Well, technically, if
Hold
you
on.
went...
Kanye posted your address?
Well, he posted several things about me. First, he posted my headshot. Then he posted...
Wait, I feel like I am kind of remembering this.
Yeah,
Did
so...
he? No, maybe not.
So he didn't post
Whoa.
He didn't literally
Okay.
post my address. What he did was a little bit more interesting. He posted a conversation he was having with someone asking for my address on his Instagram, saying, "Find where this guy lives."
You know what? I think I do remember this.
And then there was like one of those like the magic marker
remember this.
like
Yes.
app like
Yes.
a tool you can he like crossed out the address so no one could see it unless you raised the brightness of your phone.
Damn.
And then you could see the number clear as day. And it was like a breadcrumb thing. It was like, all right, here's the number. Now you can start Googling and know if you're close. It was like a roundabout, like, it was like, that old thing of, will no one rid me of this priest thing, where it's like, you're not really saying to do anything. You're just hoping something just falls into place. And that was because Pete used my Instagram occasionally
Yeah.
to post things he had to say. And this was a case where like Kanye was saying some dishonest shit about an interaction they had, and then they wanted me to post the actual conversation to clear up what was actually being said.
Oh.
And I had
my
I did not
God.
expect this to really involve me. So I was like, hey, this is something from Pete.
Of
No-
course. Why would it involve you?
Well, because when you're not all that hinged, you might say, all right, let's go after him now. And so first he posted my headshot, then he posted and he said really mean things about me, like that I probably voted for Hillary, like a real piece of shit who didn't vote for Trump. Like, I'm like, Kanye, what percentage of your fans do you think voted for Trump? Like,
Also, I'm shocked right now. Can you get out of here?
yeah, it's it's like, and it was crazy. And then like, and
Yeah,
then
wow.
he posted a thing of me.
He posts so much that I honestly forgot when he did that.
Well, it was the same day he threatened to kill D.L. Hughley. So it really got under the radar.
Yeah, but you're my friend, so I should be aware of these things.
I was actually surprised at how many people just didn't know.
Or how many people didn't reach out or like, are you okay?
That is true. Very few people
Not nice.
directly asked me how things were going.
Well, to be fair, we're
that
seeing
week that I
his
had a
wife's
cop sleeping on my
titty.
couch. Well, the problem was, and I've done this in my act a little bit, but I don't do it that much because if I do, it could be like more of a thing.
Yeah.
Is that like the address he posted was where at that time I was living with my grandmother who was dying.
Oh, no.
She had about 2.5 weeks to live at that point. She had pancreatic cancer.
Not laughing.
So I would have had a lot more fun with this.
Crazy.
If the address was not a place that she could physically not be moved from, because she couldn't at that point. You couldn't move her at all. She was,
That's fucking terrible.
She was deathbed shit.
This is not funny.
So like if
I'm not actually
if I had
laughing.
been, if it was an address I was living alone at, I would have been milking this so goddamn
Go
hard.
nut.
Oh my god, I would have loved this
Were you
so
a fan
much.
of him before?
No.
Okay.
I'm a rap guy, but not
Yeah.
his side of it.
Okay.
I listen to rappers with day jobs mostly. If I rattle off the rappers I listen to, it just sounds like I'm improvising names. It just, no one has ever
Every
heard
little-
of anyone I listen to.
Every little.
Yeah, Holocaust.
Lil Holocaust?
No, I'm saying no, not Lil.
I was
Not-
going to say, I don't know Lil Holocaust.
no Lils, no Lils
No
in my,
Lils?
no. I'm so far from that side of rap. I listen to like War Cloud, Rugged Men, and Necro. Like
what the fuck you
exactly.
just
No one
said.
knows what the hell I'm talking about. I listen to Cool Keith and like Esoteric.
Okay. I don't know these people.
Yeah, I know. No
Where
one
are
does.
they from?
Mostly New York and Philly.
Okay. That makes sense then. Local guys. You just plug them. I'm like, can we go back to the Kanye stuff where you
Yeah,
almost
sure.
died?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Wait, this is-
nothing
okay, yeah.
happened. And you know what made me feel a lot better about the Kanye stuff was the death threats I was getting were so poorly written that it was impossible to take them seriously.
They're from fans, right? Nutty fans, right?
Not just fans, but like, okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So I got this one DM because I was getting a lot of those at the time. And so obviously when Kanye posted about me, one of the side effects was I got a lot of Instagram followers.
Okay.
I didn't accept them all, but I was
Oh, are you private?
I was private for a little bit, which probably got me a lot more of them.
Yeah. The intrigue. I should do that.
And so, and then like it was an interesting thing. So I added like the ones that looked like normal people.
Yeah.
The ones that weren't like calling themselves like, you know,
That didn't have like the black screens at the time?
yeah, they
That
didn't
was
have
the thing.
no anime avatars or names like
Oh, no.
Kanye Musk.
No.
So one guy messaged me. He goes, "Hey, how did you get so many Instagram followers recently?" And I was like, "Well, a really, really famous person posts about you. You're going to pick up followers." And they replied back, all caps, "Fuck you, you fucking phony," which is very fascinating because phoniness is a word that doesn't even really apply here.
Doesn't at all.
But more importantly, not a word that I ever hear adults say.
Never.
So I replied, just a very simple, like, "I apologize for hurting your feelings." As a,
You're a nice guy.
whatever, just a normal response, like, "Fuck you," but in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
And then they wrote back something that I was truly amazed by. They wrote back in all caps with a whole line of exclamation points. Because remember I said, "Sorry, I hurt your feelings."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They wrote back, "My feelings are boiling." All caps, 50 exclamation points. And I was like, oh my God, this is a fucking child. This is like a literal fucking 11-year-old I'm
Fighting
talking
with
to.
a kid.
I gotta be careful what I'm even fucking saying to you now.
You can't even reply to them.
Like-
It happened to me on TikTok. You can't do it.
Like, these are fucking
You
children.
can't fight with kids because kids will they'll hit you with references you don't understand, like new references.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Well, yeah, and I'm not gonna
You don't want
entertain
that.
I'm not gonna entertain wanting to know what they're talking about enough
No,
to
you don't want
get
to.
that far.
No, you can't. You can't interact with children online. You know how bad that looks?
Apparently not. Apparently you're not supposed to. Even when they go out of their way to...
When they harass you.
Yeah.
The child came to you.
Yes. Yeah. And like I said, it could have been just a stupid adult. We don't know that it was
Sure.
a child, but that felt like a fucking kid.
That feels like a kid. That feels like a 14-year-old who doesn't know how to get his feelings out.
Yeah, I mean, I had one. I mean, I had a lot of death threats, but like they were all so like infantile.
They're stupid, right? Yeah.
That you're just like, honey, you sound like you haven't left the house in years. I really doubt you're going to leave it to kill me.
Did anything really cool come out of it? Like, did any celebrities reach out to you that you were like, I'm on your side, man? And you were like, what? I don't care.
3 celebrities followed me from it. No one actually said anything to me.
Dude, and you still didn't get pussy from it. That's crazy.
Oh, God, no.
That's crazy.
I remember exactly what 3 celebrities followed me and which ones still follow me to this day. Cara Delevingne followed me and then
She's hot.
And unfollowed me like a year later. But a lot of these people were like waiting for more Pete news, and I go out of my way to not be a Pete
okay.
Instagram. McLovin.
Oh, sweet.
McLovin
Sick,
followed me.
dude.
And someone I
yeah.
really respect, Kenya Barris, which was actually cool.
Who's that?
He created Blackish.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was actually cool.
You were like, you dumb bitch.
That's someone I. Yeah. And it was just it was a funny story. It ended up being a fun chunk of stand-up when I'm not being recorded or opening for Pete.
Of course.
But yeah, that was about it. Yeah, I don't think I got anything out of it.
Cara Delevingne, dude, that's wild. How do you not slide in her DMs?
Because I am a realistic person. And
No, you're out of your fucking mind.
do you? Okay.
I think people have way lower standards than you're thinking.
Okay, this is something we should actually talk about. So, do you literally believe that like that would be a reasonable thing for? Because I feel like if
1,000% she followed you, I would immediately do it.
I feel like if I DM'd Cara Delevingne, even if it's because she followed me, I
That's
feel
an
like
insane
that
sentence, by the
is
way.
that would make. I feel like that would be something that I could be. It's a diagnosable act. Like that, I would be diagnosed
Well, then
with
call me
narcissism.
Dr. Piper because boop, do it.
I'm saying I would be a malignant narcissist if I thought
Yeah.
that meant I had a shot with like one of the most famous models in the world.
Yeah,
That seems
I'm
crazy.
projecting onto you.
I mean, look, I've had people suggest I flirt with certain women in the past just because of because I was in their vicinity, and I've ridiculed that. Without getting too much, I don't want to get too much into it, but there was a brief moment where someone I know thought I was like, hey, she's single too. You're hanging out with her. Why don't you, talk to her? It makes perfect sense. One of your best friends is dating her sister. How do you know that Khloe Kardashian doesn't want to hang? And I was like, this is an alarming
Okay, well,
absence of logic
that's
right
delusional.
now. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, do you know who she's been with before? This is silly.
Cara Delevingne is washed up. She's a washed up old model who can't model anymore because she's too old. Why are you looking at me like that? She's in her 30s. She has to retire.
That's why she's acting now.
She's not acting.
Not great, but she's in there. She's in the mix.
She's okay. So my point is,
Okay,
if we were talking about like Cara Delevingne in 2013, I would laugh in your face.
Okay,
If we're talking about
fair.
right now, I'm like, send her a DM.
Yeah.
Take her to the nines for the night where she goes every night to hook up with some losers from NoHo.
I'll be clear. She's not my type anyway. But I still, even if she was, would never even imagine a world where I have a shot.
Now, Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well, that was just someone being, I think, really myopic in that moment of
Yeah,
like
now
just because
that's insane.
I'm having a conversation with someone doesn't mean that like I should like be hitting on them or think that there's a shot here. That's silly.
She also has kids.
Yeah, gross, right?
Gross, dude. That's gross, man. That's sickening. No offense. No offense to, people with kids and stuff.
We're kidding.
Kids rock. Kids rock. Not like we ever want them, but like kids rock.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that are mean to you online.
Yeah.
So did you meet the whole clan?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I gotta ask.
Oh, no. I mean, Pete was with her for a while. So, yeah, we hung
Yeah.
out. We were friends. They're all cool.
They're normal, I'm sure.
yeah,
right? One of my best friends, sorry to cut you off, one of my best friends from growing up, she grew up in Calabasas originally. So she went to high school and middle school with like Kendall and Kylie originally. And she said they were very normal. Kylie was very social and like Kendall was kind of like quiet and weird. But my friend, she's a loud cunt. So it makes sense.
I thought they were perfectly pleasant.
But everyone's nice and normal, you think?
I thought, so. Yeah, honestly, I thought
They seem very nice and
I mean, it
normal.
was just regular people. It wasn't like a big. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nothing like. I wasn't overthinking it. The funny thing for me is how like a lot of the people that like we've hung out with, the problem sometimes is that like they're so used to. And I'm not speaking specifically about Kardashians at all. I'm talking about like just generally like some of the people that you hang out with in those circles. They're so used to being around people who know everything about them that like they forget that you don't. Like I remember when I was hanging out with like Ariana Grande and I didn't know who her brother was.
No.
And he looked at me
when
like,
you drop that so casually, that's when I'm like, but continue.
but like her brother Frankie, like
Right.
I didn't even know she had a brother.
Right.
And to him that was like crazy that I'm in this environment
to Frankie
and didn't even know
Grande?
who he was. Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
Because everyone else they interact with, like, because I would have like,
could see that.
Well, because like when I was hanging out with them, people would literally be like, "Oh, so you've met this person, this person, this person?" I'm like, "I don't think so." Like, well, there's pictures of you with them. Like, well, show it to me. Oh, that's their name. Oh yeah, that guy. Oh yeah, he's cool.
that means they're kind of, or they're boring.
Not even boring. I'm just
Be-
like,
you don't know them.
I'm not overthinking it.
Yeah, I guess. I think the Ariana Grande, that's so funny. I could see it with her brother because I'm a huge fan of her. Okay, because I'm a stupid little girl, but I know she has like a little Twinkie brother, and I'm sure he loves and relishes the fact because that's part of her fan base.
Oh yeah, everyone else knows who he is.
So I'm sure he gets gassed up over being Ariana Grande's brother.
Yes.
So there's no, like, I could see that immediately when you said that. I was like, oh yeah, I could see that. Where it's like, you don't know me. I'm like, he is like the biggest personality.
Yeah,
it seems.
that's literally what it was. Yeah.
So I could see.
I mean, he
that.
wasn't like saying you don't know who I am, but it was more of like a.
No,
I
it's
could
like,
tell there was
it's
like a.
what?
I was like saying hello. Who are? I was like, oh hi, nice to. Like I didn't know who this
You're
person
also
was.
like one of the straightest dudes.
Yes.
Talking to one of the most flamboyant gay men
And thank you.
ever. There's like the connection is like you guys are not going to speak the same language.
Well, I have a lot of gay friends, so let's be fair.
Yeah, sure.
I do.
Of course. No, I mean in comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's so many like gay people.
Yeah, and not
Of
even
course.
not even through comedy. Just my friend. I grew up. I not grew up. I lived in West Hollywood for a long time. A lot of my
Right,
friends
right.
were. But yeah, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
That-
definitely I like. But yes, no matter how much I've been friends in the community, no one ever confuses me for gay, which is pretty nice. Which is
No,
not- Well, nice.
Straight from tops to bottoms.
It not nice. A pleasant surprise that people always infer my straightness.
It would be good a little bit if they thought you were gay sometimes. That
Yeah.
means you're so put together, dude.
Yeah, no, it's
If they
definitely
were like, I think he kind of
no.
because you dress really nicely.
My fashion choices are definitely a big part of why
like you
no
are
one
a
thinks I'm gay.
straight guy.
Yeah. No, I. It's not always a compliment. I just want to see it that way. But
That's
yeah,
fair. That's fair.
just from my abs and jeans, no one thinks I'm gay.
Yeah, I can tell. I could see that. I feel like same with Max. Mm-hmm. Same with Max. But people never question.
No.
No, very straight. Max Marcus producing, by the way.
Good for you.
I'm not gonna ask any more about the Kardashians, even though I'm like, tell me the craziest story ever.
I mean, there's not much to it. Like I said, it's like
I just can't believe somebody thought you could get pussy from Khloe Kardashian.
I just thought it was one of our
I mean,
friends, and I
that's
was like,
wild.
dude, shut up.
That's wild.
Literally,
Did you get any vibes from her that you thought you could maybe?
no.
Okay.
We had a nice conversation,
I had to
but
ask.
like I believe me, at no point did I think this could happen.
Dude, she has kids, man.
She
Can't do that.
only dates professional basketball players.
Yeah, I know.
Like this is insane.
She really does. I don't
Like-
think she's ever dated anyone but professional basketball.
I was like, if
players.
you tried to set us up, it would feel like a prank, and it would feel like it's on her.
It would feel like a prank.
On her.
Yeah.
I was like, the last thing I need is for the next
She's
season of
taller
her
than
show.
you, right?
No,
Really?
she was not as tall as I thought. I was taller.
Really? I thought
I
she
was
would-
taller.
Oh,
I did expect her to be taller than me,
wow.
and she wasn't. Yeah,
How tall are you?
5'8".
Yeah. Wow.
I thought she'd be taller. Yeah,
I thought she was.
but I think it's because
way
like
taller.
Kim is so short,
Okay, that makes sense.
and like I think Kylie's taller than Chloe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Kim and Courtney are just super small.
Okay.
But yeah, I was surprised. Chloe, when I remember talking to her, I remember being like, "Oh wow, I assumed I'd be looking up at you."
I like can't picture you and Khloe Kardashian having a conversation.
I know.
That's like I'm sorry, it's just like the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah, no.
It's crazy. What'd you talk about? And that's a genuine question.
We talked about. Honestly,
Honestly, what were you guys talking about? Because clearly it went well. That somebody was like,
We talked about New York, not the place, the woman from the reality show.
"Oh, amazing! Oh my God, she's the best."
I think we were talking about I Love
you know?
New York, actually. Yeah.
Oh my God,
I think
she's
that's what we're talking
incredible.
about, yeah.
And now she's on the House of Villains. Sorry, my bad. That's wild.
Yeah. I think that's what it ended up being a
Okay.
conversation about reality stars, which is the weirdest thing to be talking to a Kardashian about.
That's so
when I don't
random.
watch reality.
You've never watched it all? Like you don't watch it all?
Not really, no. I would watch like occasionally if my friends wanted to. I'd watch like competition shows, but
Okay.
never straight reality. Ever. I've never watched the Kardashians
Well, I don't expect you to watch
or
the
any of those
Kardashians.
shows.
Yeah.
The only things like reality I've ever watched are like Kitchen Nightmares or, or Drag Race or something that's like where I'm watching people who are good at something.
Yes. They're honing their skill set. They're not just being themselves.
Yeah.
But New York is herself.
Yes, and that's why she's a winner.
I think she's from Love and Hip Hop.
She was
Or,
she was the first winner or one of the winners of Flavor of Love.
Flavor of Love.
Yeah.
It was Flavor of Love. Yes. Yes. And now she's on House of Villains or was on House of Villains. She just got kicked off.
I'm glad she's still in there. Glad she's still making it.
She's still trying. She's still. They always. I feel like TikTok is what they found like old reality people and they bring them back.
Good.
And now, yeah.
I'm glad there's like a retirement home for people who used to be reality stars.
The E channel.
Yeah, that's true. That is what it
That's
is.
literally what it is.
I stopped watching E when they stopped having the soup.
Oh my God, that was great.
That's the only thing I ever watched on E.
It's sad. I loved Fashion Police. Joan Rivers is my favorite. So.
I do like. I mean, I never watched that, but I do love
Oh
Joan,
my
of
God.
course.
Love Joan. That would be like a dream job to bring back Fashion Police.
But who could do that? Who could?
Hello, bitch. Who could do that? I'm literally talking about bringing back. I'm like, that would be my dream to bring it back. And you're like, who would do that? I'm like,
who
hello.
I meant who famous could do it? Like who in the entertainment industry?
The coolest F-lister ever. I don't know. Who would be my dream gang? Thanks for asking. Yes, I'm involving myself. Myself.
You could totally produce. You could be like the
Jesus
person.
Christ,
You
you're
could be.
being so fucking
You could be
mean.
wearing like headphones, and they go aside to you like.
I'm
like,
gorgeous.
Sabrina, what do you think of this? And you're
I know,
like,
you're pissing me off.
well, you got to work your way up.
I hate you. Okay, so it'll be me. I'm bringing back Juliana Rancic.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
bringing her out of whatever shed she's in. I know she probably gained some weight. She's probably not as bulimic bitch princess anymore, but we're bringing her back. I'd get your girlfriend, Khloe Kardashian,
Sure.
because it's through you, so I'd have to use your girl. I'd say Joan Rivers, but in like one of those, like what they did to Tupac a few years ago. At
Oh, a
Coachella.
hologram.
A hologram. Let's make her a hologram.
We should just have holograms of everyone dead. We're close to that. We're getting there.
We're really close.
We're so close to that Ramones reunion.
Ooh. Or
Yeah.
the Fashion Police reunion.
Yeah, but then you have to get. You still have to have someone do the voice, write in their voice, and who can keep up with the Joan Rivers character?
Maybe Kathy Griffin.
Are you? Come on.
I know that was terrible.
That's
Maybe
like
Lynn Coplitz.
Okay, yeah, I love Lynn Coplitz.
Maybe Lynn Coplitz.
Lynn is.
I
the
would give
fucking,
it to Lynn.
Lynn is fucking awesome.
I would give it to Lynn. Does
100,
that make you feel better?
100%.
Okay, then
Lynn
it's,
is awesome.
Then it's Lynn and I leading the road.
Yeah, no, I love the idea of you being on Fashion Police with Lynn Coplitz.
That would be fun.
That would be the name of the show
That
that you're on.
Fashion Police with Lynn Coplitz.
Yes.
It would have to be.
Yeah.
She would have to be the reigning. I don't know.
No, she's great. She was
is great.
People forget she was like super funny and like model beautiful
Gorgeous.
before that was like
A thing.
nearly as much of a draw
Yeah.
as it would then become. Like it was like
If anything,
2000.
it used to be deterred.
Yeah, early 2000s.
I
it was
mean-
like, oh, you can't be hot and a comic. Now,
2016 it was deterred. People were saying that's
Yeah.
me then. I was like 19. They were so mean.
right. Whereas like now, that would make you the biggest star in the fucking world.
Now it's a whole thing. Now it's
Yeah.
hot girl comedy and whatever.
Right, which
and
is its whole
bullshit.
problem.
Yeah, sure.
I'm
I
sure you
know.
understand. That probably frustrates you too.
It does. It
Seeing all
does.
these hot girls getting gigs.
Well, here's the thing. I'm like, first of all, I invented that when I wasn't funny, so fuck you. I'm like, now it's been like 7-8 years. I'm like, I want it back, and none of you are even hot.
You have to give yourself time. Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm like, you can't call it hot girl comedy when you're not doing comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of like shows that are like specifically like I know people run shows like hot comics. And to come to the show, all the comics are gonna be hot. Of course, whenever you go to those shows, you realize booking is not easy. Let alone with that stricter criteria. Usually, at least one comic is gonna be really stretching the idea of this premise.
I don't like know any off the top of my head of hot shows.
I know of a couple. I'm not gonna call them out.
We don't have to say it here. We can do it on the
All I know is
Patreon.
that the host is really grandfathering himself in
Oh,
by being on the show because he organized it.
of a hot show?
Yeah.
This is crazy because you keep telling me this and I'm like, I've never been asked to do this. How fucking offensive that is.
It's probably L.A.
Oh,
I think
that's fair.
Makes
The
much more
only-
sense it's in L.A.
Only LA shows I've done are like random ones. And then I did Roast Battle, Jeff Ross's show in LA.
Oh, right. You did the
And
belly
then,
room.
yeah. So
Who'd you face?
I faced Tom Whalen before he went on his McDonald's
Oh,
rant.
I know all about that.
He's a nice dude.
He is
You know
nice.
what? I have to say, he was kind of a cokey dick right before the roast.
I can see that.
But once I was in LA and after it was done, I don't remember why I was stuck there for one night, but I was stuck there without a place, and he offered his couch to me, and he didn't have to do that. And I just thought, what a nice
Cool.
guy. I didn't
Good.
take him up on it because I didn't want to get assaulted, but I thought, what a nice guy.
Right. Just because you had to take precautions doesn't mean he definitely would have. Just because you were right to not let it be a risk does not mean there's any reason to believe it would have been.
No.
Sometimes you just have to err on the side of caution.
Yes. But so nice. And yeah, I went against Tom, and it was, I always feel like every LA, New York is like a little rigged. How do you feel?
Oh God, no! Believe me, I've done a few of those. I've done the
Yeah.
belly room too, and 100. I was coming in as nobody, facing like their new champion in a non-title that was already planned before he won the belt, and it was like I'm going in here like there is no incentive for me to win this.
No.
Like,
none.
and not that I think it was unfair; it was a very close battle, but I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel great.
No.
But no, I mean well, the thing is, it's just opinion. It's roast battle. There's no
Totally.
quantifying it, you know? The dumbest joke can get a big laugh.
Right.
And for no reason.
It's just something fun. People having fun.
Yeah, I just
Feel
love
like comfortable.
I always
that's
loved
how we
roast
met.
battle. Yeah.
Judging roast battle.
Um,
Right?
I know how we met, and I don't think you remember.
We didn't meet
No.
CFC?
We met at CFC in like when it was old CFC in that basement.
Oh, yeah.
So I know
Lucky Jack.
exactly how I met you. And I felt bad
that
because I
story.
said something like sarcastic that I think
Okay.
you took literally.
Okay.
Which is my fault. Like
Okay.
it wasn't.
Wow, I don't remember this at all.
Okay, so this is when roast battle was new. CFC was this fairly new thing where you could
Yeah.
bet on it, and I was like super into that,
Okay.
like doing the brackets and everything. And I was on SNL at the time.
Okay.
So and I had just written the Bieber roast. I was being like I love roasting. I was roast battle guy, and you and another comic were there, and I was just sitting, and you sat down near me, and I was like, "Oh, are you guys battling tonight?" And you were like, "Yeah." And I, as a joke, it came off so much more like I meant it than I meant to.
Okay.
As a joke, I was like, "Oh, cool. Can I see your jokes? I'll help punch you up." And I meant it as a joke, and you were like, "No, you can't." And and it was like funny. It was like it wasn't
Oh
like
my
a mean.
God.
It was like a what the fuck. And I was like, I'm kidding. But it was like I felt bad because like, oh my God, it seemed like I meant that.
I totally thought you were just some random guy doing that, probably.
Right. And I was
have no recollection of
Good-
this.
thank
at
God. I'm
all.
glad to hear that.
If you never told me this story. Also, I like how you were like, no, that's how we met. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like we met.
well, no, we spoke to each other.
Wow, I don't remember this.
And but it was like you were like laughing in the way you were yelling at me, so I felt like this was fine. But I was just like, I was literally like, because at the time, like I just loved punching up jokes anyway. So I had just been doing it with another person there that I knew, and that's why I said it to you.
I also feel like a moron because I'm like, I should have fucking been like, yes, of course. Oh my God, I should feel blessed if you want to give me advice or writing advice. And here I was being a little stupid snot.
This was also like 2016.
It has to be. I was like,
When you were like a child.
I was like the kid sliding into your DMs.
Yeah.
My feelings were exploding. when you asked me.
But no, I've always felt bad that that's how we met.
Whoa.
I've always felt like an asshole. That like, oh, I probably still look like a fucking narcissist to her.
No, not it. That's so funny. No, I never even like recalled that. And wow, that's so funny you say that interaction because now, and I feel like Max is giving me the same looks because like we're thinking the same thing. Like a lot of people think I'm a fucking cunt. And I never know why. I'm like, I've never even spoken to them. And maybe I have. And I just never. I'm like, whoa, look how that works.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
God.
so funny.
When I first saw CFC, I was like, I wanted to beautiful mind that whole thing and like win the brackets every time. Because I was like, I know I can do this. I know I can watch this and know exactly who's going to beat who.
Damn.
But the problem was with CFC, it's like everyone knows each other. So shit was it was so much more than joke writing.
It used to be
It was
very
so
insular.
much inside stuff.
Yes, very. You had to write for
Which
the
I
inside.
loved.
I loved that too.
Yeah.
I actually think a lot of that has been lost, and Matt's one of my closest friends. So like I always talk to him about like I'm like it's so different. I'm like I like the basement. I like that.
I loved it. I still do. I still love judging it, but like
Yeah.
it makes me sad like it doesn't have that whole community anymore. But there's a reason for that, and it's kind of Jeff Ross's fault.
I agree.
That
I
at that time, roast battling was the one way you could meritocracy yourself onto TV. It was the one way you could joke write yourself onto TV without all the bullshit of favors and all the ethereal stuff that doesn't really apply.
Yeah.
And it was like the one time, like, because I have friends who got in the industry for real through roast battle, and then when the roast battle TV show at the third season, it became clear like, oh, New York means nothing. New York doesn't even exist. We're just gonna put semi-famous comics doing their first roast battles for this TV show, not the kids who've been killing themselves trying to prove that they're great joke writers.
Yeah, that's killer.
And I think that's why Roastmasters ended.
Right.
For that exact reason, like because when there was a chance,
It was very quick.
when there was a chance you could get on TV, it was this massive motivator. And I would give anything for roast battle to have the level of credibility I think it always deserved, where it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because I always thought, like, if you could have had name comedians with, like, a real prize, could you imagine how cool it would be if you had live roast battling with, like, the best comics?
It would be wild.
If Jim Norton and Dave Attell were roast battling live, people would lose their fucking minds.
That would be so cool. That would be so cool.
But that was only going to happen if the sport got huge.
right.
If it
I
blew
love that
up.
you call it a sport.
I
do.
The second I said that word, I regretted
No, it's
it.
good. It's like we're firefighters, like you
Yeah.
said.
It's like when people call non-comics civilians. I'm like,
Right.
You gotta
Sure.
You got to stop
right.
with that.
Yes.
Even though it got big in England, which pissed me off
Really?
to no end. Yeah,
That's
it's like
so
the biggest
random.
Comedy Central show in England.
Civilians?
No. Sorry, roast battle
Oh.
only got
like,
big
what is
on
that?
TV in Britain.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I feel like I guess because I was so like entrenched in like watching it, then I'm like, oh no, it is big.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean,
Yes,
literally,
yeah.
my friends who were on it didn't get any new Twitter followers from when the episode aired. Almost,
That's rough.
they got like 10 new followers.
Twitter
Meanwhile,
was like the thing.
if you do Come Town, you get 1,000 followers, and like something's horribly wrong here.
Well, yeah, no.
No offense to Come Town, but TV
Well,
should.
they're done already, so
Well, yeah.
Sorry, rest in peace, Come Town. Well, actually, speaking of Come Town, it was just funny you said that because we did when we started the podcast like over a year ago. We had this guy on, Tom Myers. There's like a Tom Myers. Do you know this guy?
No.
Dude, this guy, like, I don't know where he came from or what the deal is. All I know is he would slide into my DMs all the time.
Really?
Yes. He's like, I thought he was like 50 something. He's like some 38-year-old dude from Baltimore.
That's
man.
rough. It's always rough
dude.
when everyone thinks you're a lot older.
Yeah.
Because I have the reverse, and I'm extremely lucky.
Well, you're like what? You're like like 5, 6 years older than me? 10,
How old are you?
27 now.
And you think you just guessed
Wait, you're
I'm
like 36?
5, 6 years older than you?
35. Oh, no. I thought you were like 35, 36. Am I wrong?
I'm just saying, I've often said, because it's not about how old you are, it's how old you look. So, like, if you're 35 but look 50, you're already kind of aged out.
Yeah.
But if you're older and you look young, you can just be in certain spaces. I'm 45.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I just look amazing.
You look amazing.
Yeah.
You do.
Thank you.
You get the Botox?
I shouldn't even tell people. No, I don't do anything.
Good. Don't.
I don't even drink water.
Don't do it.
Never.
Don't do it. He doesn't do it either. No water.
No.
That's so funny. No, I did not know that.
No, I'm like tragically old, and I just get to skate by the fact that like you just guessed I was like 34. That's amazing.
Yeah, I thought I was like oldest is 36, 37.
That's
maybe.
that's so nice.
Yeah, I did not realize 40s. That's wild.
I've dated girls younger than me who felt I looked too young for them.
I know
It's
one girl who's
cute.
older than you who thought she was dating you.
Wait. You thought? Wait, hold on. You know a girl who's older than me
I know a girl older. Well,
that you thought was dating me?
she thought she was dating you. But we're gonna switch over to the Patreon. We'll talk about it there on patreon.com/funnygirlwithtits. I'm gonna give my plugs. Funny Girl with Tits. Follow me, Funny Girl W Tits, on X, Twitter. Subscribe, like, share, do all that. Tag Khloe Kardashian so she'll go out with Dave because he really wants to go out with
So
his
confused.
dream woman.
Yeah.
Dave, give your plugs.
Dave Sirus, Sirus, on anything, and Bupkis, Triumph stuff. Anything is good.
You do so much. I don't even know what to plug, dude.
That's fine.
It's crazy. Give your grandma's address one more time.
I moved. It's okay. Doesn't matter now.
Oh, okay. Well, we love you, Kanye. Bye. Switch to the Patreon.